This is In the Dirt with ASOTU.
All right, I'm super excited to be here with my new friend Bruce Miller. Is it Miller Automotive Group?
Miller Motors.
Miller Motors in Louisiana. What part?
New Orleans.
Okay, so super unique story. I think we're getting in at the very beginning of your story in automotive.
Yes.
So tell me about you were born into the industry,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Your father's dealer principal. Tell us a little bit about your store.
Yeah. My dad's been, in the car business for like 20 years. He just started his own used car lot about a year and a half ago. And I just graduated college about a year ago. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So at least for now, I'm just kind of learning what he's doing.
That sounds
helping
like
him out.
That sounds like the story. I just got into the car business, not sure what I wanted to do. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the story of everyone that's been in the business for 30 years. It all starts right here. What did you study in college?
Economics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so outside of automotive, what are the areas of interest, the other industries or things that you have an interest in?
Not much.
sure,
I
right?
have no idea.
Why did you choose economics?
I don't really know.
Okay.
It just kind of happened.
Yep. Are you good with numbers just generally?
Yeah, I'm more analytical, I
Yep.
would say. So I think it's kind of interesting, but I don't know how applicable that is or where I would like to apply that stuff.
So you've kind of grown up in an environment where dealership life has been a part of your family dynamic.
Yes. Yes.
What are some of the things that you feel like came into your life as a result of being involved in a family business that's a dealership? What's that dynamic like?
It's interesting. My dad's has always just been on the phone. I've heard him talk about the car business and his strategy for feels like my whole life at this point, So I feel like as he's actually trying to teach me these things, I feel like I already have some understanding.
Of course you
I've
do.
Just
Absorption,
picked up on it.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
what is? I mean, we could. Your dad's over there having a conversation, but we'll ask him maybe later. But what is your perspective on how your dad looks at treating people within the organization, treating customers? What are some of those things that you've picked up?
Yeah, he's really big on having a company culture and treating people well, and yeah, he's got a whole network of people that all want to come work for him, and that he's just developed over the years. He always says he's a good boss, but I don't really know.
He says he's a good boss. Pan the camera. He's right here. Bruce. Oh, this is Bruce and Bruce?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Can you come in? All right, here we go. We got the trip. All right, now we have father and son. Now we're going to get the true story. So Bruce Jr. was just telling us that he studied economics, and he grew up in the business. And so we're kind of grilling him on some questions because his story of coming into the industry and saying, well, I'm not sure what I want to do. Right? I said, that sounds like the story of everyone who's been in the business for 30 years.
That's why we're here now, so he can get a little bit further education. 3 days in, after 1 hour phone call with Vauto, we're at the auction. He's telling me I pay him too much for this car. He's telling me the market they supply on this car. So I'm at the auction.
Was he right?
He's 100% right. I'm at the auction with more data than I ever had. I just go by my gut. That's a cool car. I'm gonna buy it.
He's like your Moneyball hire.
Yes, the analytics version. So it's been awesome having me as a father. It's come from nothing. Just rough childhood, got in this business, trying to support a family, and now I own a dealership with my last name on it, but it's his last name on it too. And now he's working for me. We're working together. It's been it's hard to describe. It's been a great thing. So, and he's actually doing a good job, and he's helping me. It was even better.
Yeah. So that's an amazing story of kind of coming into the auto industry, building it from the ground up, and now being able to bring your son into it and see what he wants to do. But it's an amazing thing when your kids all of a sudden start kind of investing back into you, and that's kind of what's happening. Let me ask you this. How did you get into automotive? What was your first step into the industry to begin with?
So a friend of mine, a cousin of mine, my cousin's girlfriend worked at a dealership as a receptionist. And we was hanging out, and I was 18, 19 years old. And she says, man, you remind me of those salespeople at the dealership. And so I got married young, and I needed a real job. So I answered the ad for a dealership, and it was the first time my mom and dad were alcoholics, not the greatest parents. Like, didn't have the greatest childhood. You know, I was married at 20, had a kid a few months later. Definitely behind the 8 ball, high school dropout. You know, so there was little options for me to be a successful human being. You know, I was like a hustler. The girl said I should be a salesperson. I was like, let me go apply there. So I applied. I called 10 times. They wouldn't answer my phone call. After the interview, they wouldn't, you know, so finally I got there, and it was like love at first sight. You know, I've been in the business ever since then. I started like as a 21-year-old salesperson. I was a 22-year-old salesperson a year, 23-year-old finance manager, 25-year-old used car manager, 29-year-old director of 3 used car lots, 32-year-old GSM of the biggest Chevy store in New Orleans, 38-year-old operations managing 5 variable operations. And then as the pandemic happened, my partners let me go. We fought about people, how to treat people. They had me fire people over the phone. It was just like and I like stood up for these things.
So I love this story and the way it's panning out. So this shirt that I'm wearing says, "Love people more than you love cars." It's one of our mantras of our organization, Automotive State of the Union. Tell me your perspective on what you need to do to treat people within your organization, how you need to treat them, and how that's been a path to your success.
It's been a path my whole way, because the first 8 or 9 years I had it rough. My first week on the job, I asked my manager off for Wednesday nights because I went to church. And he told me, he looked at me, he says, "Son, I am your God now. You can't have off on Wednesday nights because I'm your God now." If I was 5 minutes late to work, I lost the whole off day. I said, man, how does that equate? I'm 5 minutes late to work and I lose 12 hours? So it was just, I was stepped on, treated bad. Back in my day, you had to really want to make it, because the odds were stacked against you. Nobody wanted you to make it. Nobody was helping you make it. So I just knew that, like, ain't no fun when the rabbit has the gun. When I got the gun, I invested in people. I poured it.
Wait, what was that saying? That's some Louisiana stuff right there.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit has the gun.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit has the gun.
Yeah. So now since I had the gun, I was able to like invest in people. I realized that I was always a good car guy, but at some point it clicked on me. It says, man, I'm not just selling cars. I'm leading people. I'm managing people. And so I would like be concerned with them. I'd invite them to my church. I would like help counsel with them. I would like pour into them. And I have so many people that work for me over the last 20 years that are in prominent positions. I get text messages routinely once every few weeks. Man, thank you, Bruce. I owe a lot to you. I cared for them. I always like brought the team together, and I took my team to Pelicans games. I took my team to, I always had events and always Christmas parties, things like that. So.
Well, I'll tell you what. I love it when we find our people, because what you're saying and the mentality that you have is the very similar mentality that we see among some of the very, very, very best dealers in the country. We got 2 Bruces, father, son, Gen 1. Gen 2 is just starting, but you heard it here first. This is the rising star. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for watching this episode of In the Dirt with ASOTU.
If you're new to our channel,
love the
make sure and mash that like and
people
subscribe
who make
button.
it run day
also,
in and
check
day
out
out.
some of these links
We would love to
for other
connect
great
with you more
podcasts
through
and
our
content.
daily dose of